What is going on, fitness coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives, Make Money Online Training Podcast. This is the #1 show for online fitness coaches who are trying to grow successful online business. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about this idea of selling before you're ready. All right, selling before you're ready. Now, what that means for me is that there's a lot of you guys that are online coaches that might want to start your online fitness business, but there might be a part of you that's kind of like holding back because you don't feel like you're ready to sell your program. Now, before I get into today's episode, I want to read out a rating that I got on the Change Lives, Make Money Online Training Podcast. This is from Ashley Taylor. Ashley said, I've been following Brian on Instagram and recently joined his 10K Coaching Academy. Within a week, I've learned more from Brian and his team than any other coach I've ever interacted with. They provide such valuable content on every single platform. This is my first episode, but I'm so excited to use this as another avenue to learn from them. Their energy is unmatched. Yo, let's go. Let's go. It's not just me, it's Cole, it's Corey, and we're coming at you guys as much as humanly possible. So thank you so much for tuning in, Ashley Taylor. We're here to serve you. Okay, guys, so today's episode, we're talking about selling before you're ready. Now, if you're an online fitness coach and you want to start enrolling clients into your program, a lot of online coaches don't actually get their online business started because a lot of online coaches are sitting there and they're trying to get all of their delivery right. So every online coach is like, okay, like, what am I going to sell? How much am I going to sell it for? Like, what does the program look like? And they're trying to like get all of their like dots, their I's dotted and their T's crossed. But in the process, they're sitting there and they're lollygagging, right? And we're trying to like, a lot of online coaches are so concerned with getting like this certification and this certification and this certification. And in the process of getting all their certifications, they never actually think about like they're actually working with the client. And a lot of online coaches, unfortunately, spend a lot of time researching how to get their online business started without actually just getting it fucking started and starting to work with clients. You understand what I'm talking about? There's a lot of online coaches that spend a lot of time researching on how to get their business started, researching what their program should look like, researching what their meal plan should look like without actually ever working with clients. And they never end up doing anything. Does this make sense? Does this kind of click for some of you guys? Now, in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about this idea of getting over this fear of making mistakes. We're going to be talking about getting over the fear of failure. We're going to be talking about learning how to take fast action. And my #1 analogy for you guys for this podcast is I want to teach you guys how to jump out of the airplane and learn how to fly on the way down. How to jump out of the airplane and learn how to fly on the way down. So I just did a class inside of my 10K mastermind. And inside of the 10K mastermind, me and my clients, and I was talking to them, and I was like, what we're doing, guys, this week is we're talking about learning how to jump out of the airplane on the way down. Now, when I first started my fitness coaching business, which was Aesthetic Nation, I started online coaching back in 2013. And at the time, I was working at Jameson's Irish Pub. I was like a restaurant bartender. And one of my friends approached me while I was at the bar, and I'm sure you guys have had this too. And one of my friends approached me and they're like, hey, Brian, I'd love if you could like draw me up a meal plan for the next 12 weeks. I'm like, I know a lot about nutrition. At the time I was a fitness competitor. So he asked me to draw him up a meal plan and I was like, okay, I can do that. And I didn't really know how much I should charge. I didn't really know how much I should go into it. And I had kind of had this idea of online training for a while. And so I literally sold my first ever online coaching program. It was like $200 for a 12-week program. And I literally went into MyFitnessPal. I calculated the dude's macros. I made him a grocery list. And I wrote out 12 different meal plans for him to use. It probably took me about 8 to 9 hours to get all these meal plans done with all these macros and 12 sheets, 12 weeks worth of meal plans. But I created 12 weeks worth of meal plans and I sold it to him for $200. And he bought it, he followed it, and he got results. He was super happy. He'd come into the bar all the time and he'd talk about his progress. And so for me, my online fitness coaching business literally started with me selling a $200 meal plan for 12 weeks. Like that's where the origins of my online business started. And that's where it started. And then I started to progress to the point where I was charging $200 a month for online coaching. Instead of $200 for 12 weeks, it was $200 a month. Then it progressed to $250 a month. Then once I was at $250 a month, I started signing more clients. And then I started a recurring subscription business. And I got my own fitness business to $10,000 a month. After that, what happened is I started hiring online coaches to work underneath me at Aesthetic Nation. They started selling clients. I was making a percentage of their income. I took that fitness business to $50,000 per month. Now, that entire time that I was building Aesthetic Nation, the only reason that I was able to make it come to life is because I had this mentality that I'm just going to fucking figure it out. I'm going to start now and I'm going to figure it out later. Everybody, if you're taking notes, I want you to write that down. Start now and figure it out later. I think most people do it the opposite way. They're like, oh, I need to figure it all out first. I need to listen to all the podcasts. I need to hire the mentor, and then I need to study every single aspect of the course. And I need to make sure that I've done all 7 units, and I need to make sure that I have these 6 certifications, and I need to make sure that I have all of these things in order. I need to have trainer set up and evolution nutrition set up and all these things set up before I can start signing clients. And while you spend all that time preparing, I already have 10 clients because I fucking started first and I'm just figuring it out as I go. We're talking about learning how to jump out of the airplane and learn how to fly on the way down. And like, this mindset is hard for a lot of people to embrace, because in order to jump out of the plane and learn how to fly on the way down, you really do have to understand that like you're going to make some mistakes, and you're going to make some, you're going to come against some like adversity, and you're going to screw something up at some point, but you'll also figure that out, right? You'll also feel like once you make a mistake, you're like, oh crap, I made a mistake. And then you figure that out and then you fix it for next time and you continue to get better. Guys, funny story, right? So now I'm a business coach for online fitness trainers. And in the last 2 years, I started PT Domination in 2018. Well, it's almost 2.5 years now, which is actually pretty crazy. In the last 2.5 years of having PT Domination, I've worked with over 1,000 online trainers now. It's 1,000. It blows my mind. And the first ever client I signed for PT Domination was an online trainer who wanted to build his business. And it was an 8-week-long course. And it was like $5,000 back in the day, because that's what all the business coaches were charging. So I thought that's what I should charge, which, by the way, I don't charge that now. It was at fucking $5,000 for an 8-week-long course. And I signed the client. And as I signed him, I literally was figuring out how to coach him while I was signing him. And I helped him build his fitness business. And then I signed another couple clients. And then I signed another couple clients. And now I've built a business to the point where like I have, 7 coaches that are working on the team. Well, actually, no, it's not 7. It's 6 coaches that are working on the team with me to help me serve other online coaches. So I've got like other mentors on the team. We are currently working with over 700 online fitness coaches. And we've helped 102 of them break $10,000 a month. Now, the only reason I was able to get the business to that level is because I have this mindset of like, I'm going to start this shit right now. I'm going to start it right now. And I'm going to figure it out along the way. It's learning how to sell before you're ready. So like online fitness coaches. And the last example I'm going to give you guys is this Young and Ambitious program that I'm running. So right now I'm running a youth mentorship program for kids that are 14 to 18 years old that live in Kelowna, British Columbia. And I'm taking a bunch of kids that are 14 to 18 years old, 8 children. And I'm taking them into this little mentorship program. And what I'm doing is I'm taking them to do 12 weeks of workouts, success mindset lessons. And I'm going to give one of the kids a $10,000 scholarship towards university or starting their own business. And I've always wanted to start a mentorship program. You guys, like I've always wanted to do it for youth. It's been like something that like once I became a drug addict and then I overcame it, I was like, okay, I want to go back to kids when they're fucking 13, 14, 15 and smack them straight and be like, don't do drugs. Like you will go here if you do drugs. I want to tell them my story. Anyways, so I've always wanted to do it. But the amount of like overthinking that I was doing when it came to starting this mentorship program was bananas. So I stopped overthinking it and I literally started taking it one step at a time. I was like, okay, so I want to start this mentorship program. Who do I know that works with a lot of youth right now? I'm like, okay, so there's, I know a coach right now that lives in Kelowna that works with the youth football team. So I reached out to him first. I told him about what I wanted to do. Me and him had a meeting. And then I was like, okay, so we had a meeting. He likes it. The next step is to lay out like a skeleton and a framework and an application. So I did that. And I'm like, okay, the next step is to interview all these kids. And I did that. I'm like, okay, the next step is to set up a meeting with their parents. And I did that. And then I'm like, okay, the next step is to meet all their parents in person and get them to sign forms. Then I did that. I'm like, okay, the next step is to get them into the gym and track their weight and track their starting stats. And then I did that. I'm like, okay, the next step is to get them in for a workout and then do a success talk. And then I did that. And now I'm like looking at it. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like in this mentorship program. I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And it literally like the way that I started doing it is I just started right now. I just literally started right now and I started to figure it out along the way. And I like saw the obstacles, I moved around them, and then I just started to figure it out. Like, how do I make this thing happen? How do I make this thing come to life? I start now, I figured out along the way. Guys, it's the same thing with running the gym. So right now I just purchased a gym, Iron Energy in West Kelowna. Do you guys think I'm an experienced gym owner? The answer is no. Okay. I've never owned a gym in my life, but it's like, I'm willing to start now and figure it out along the way. Like, what do I need to do to continue to make the gym better? What do I need to do to help the gym progress? How do we market the gym properly? What's the difference between marketing the gym and marketing an online program? Like, I'm learning these things along the way. But it's like, I'm so willing to, I'm not afraid to fail. I know that, you know, I'm going to make some mistakes. And I know that success comes from taking fast action. And so I'm telling you guys, online fitness coaches, if you want to learn how to be successful, then you have to learn how to sell before you're ready. You have to learn how to jump out of the airplane and learn how to fly on the way down. You have to be willing to start right now and figure it out along the way. Is this making sense to you guys? Is this clicking? I want to give you guys the way that I think. I want to download my brains into your brains so that you guys can take this and implement these strategies into your own life and see success in whatever it is that you're trying to do. And so in your coaching program for you online fitness coaches, I've written down a couple points that you need to remember in order to start selling your online coaching program right now so you can start making money. All right. Number one, first thing you guys need to understand if you're an online fitness coach, listen to this right now, is you will learn more by doing than you will by thinking. Write that down. You will learn more by doing than you will by thinking. Okay. There's a lot of you guys that are like, oh, I need to know what apps to use. I need to know how to make a post. I need to do how to do this and how to do this and how to do this, right? But you will learn more by doing shit than you will by thinking about it. Like, don't get me, I'm not saying that you need to walk blindly into a situation, be like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Like, that's not what I'm saying. Like, I think it's important to get educated enough to take immediate and massive action. Like, I learned just enough to take immediate and massive action. If I can't take immediate and massive action now, then I'll learn just enough so that I can do so. And then I fucking start moving. So when I hire a mentor, what I do is I go into the course and I'm like, okay, so I'm going to go into this course. I'm going to study a couple of things that I think are going to be really valuable. And then once I get something that's super valuable, I'm like fucking all in. I will learn more by doing than I will by thinking. And so will you, online fitness coaches. So yes, it's important to do a little bit of research, but you also need to make sure that you need to start fucking taking massive action. All right. Number two, you need to accept that you're never really ready until you decide that you are. You need to accept that you're never really ready until you decide that you are. Guys, this saying is kind of like the quote, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. It's like most people are most online coaches that are listening to this right now, if you're listening to this right now and this clicks, are so focused on getting ready that they haven't actually taken the initial step of like saying like, I'm going to sign a fucking client this week, because they're still trying to get set up before they sign their client. And even me saying that might overwhelm you. And if it does overwhelm you, that's good. That means you should do it. You have to accept that you're never really ready until you just fucking decide. You're like, okay, I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to make a way. I will sign a client this week. And when I do sign a client, I'm going to figure out how to use Trainerize, how to use Evolution Nutrition, how to set up their welcome package, all of it. I'll figure it out once I sell them. Instead of being like, oh, I need to have all these 7 or 8 steps in a row. It's like, no, I'm going to sell them and then I'm going to figure it out. You need to accept that you're never really ready until you just decide that you're going to make it happen. All right. Number three, this is important. You might fail, and that's okay, because failing is better than never starting. I'm going to say that again. You might fail, and that's okay, because failing is better than never starting. I'm going to say it one more time because I think it's super fucking important. You might fail, and that's okay, because failing is better than never starting. So if you're an online coach and you take a client into your program and you don't deliver a 10 out of 10 service, and the client's like, you know what, I didn't really get the service that I wanted, that's okay, because then you can get better for the next one, and you can continue to get better, and you can continue to improve, and you can continue to evolve. But like, you're never going to get that experience if you just sit there and you're like spending all this time trying to prepare to be ready, when ready is just this abstract concept and this like imaginary benchmark that we have inside of our mind, this excuse for why we're not taking action to get closer to where we want to be. Like, you have to understand that you might make some mistakes and you might screw it up, and that's okay, because if you do, that's better than not starting at all, because you can learn and you can improve. All right. Now, this is the last one. There's one more point I wrote down, and this one's going to punch. Okay. This one's going to hit. So if you've got goals and ambitions, right? You want to be successful. You want to build a successful online business. You want to make $10,000 a month. You want to be the online trainer that everybody talks about. I want you to imagine your life in 3 years. I want you to imagine that you're still working at the same fucking job. You're in the same place. You're still with this like same environment, same friends, same place. You're not an online coach. Your online coaching dreams have died. You're now working at somewhere that you hate for a boss that you dislike, and you've never realized your dreams. I want you to imagine that in 3 years, okay? Is that what you want? Do you want to be working somewhere that you hate? Working a 9 to 5 that's paying you like $15 to $25 an hour? Having a boss telling you how much money you're worth? If that's not what you fucking want, then start selling your program. Straight up. Like, you're never going to be ready. You need to think about your life in 3 years, staying in the exact same place that you're currently in right now. And if that doesn't make you happy, then you need to start doing shit. You need to start selling your program. You need to figure it out along the way. Like, you got this. I believe in you. And I know it because I've been you. Like, I've been the trainer that was like bartending behind the bar, didn't really know how to set up my online coaching business. And I just figured it out along the way. So you're never going to be ready. You're going to learn more by doing than by thinking. You have to accept that you're never really ready until you think that you are. And I want you to imagine your life in 3 years in the same place. And if that doesn't satisfy you, then you need to make a shift. All right. That is it. That is all. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Change Lives, Make Money Online Trainer podcast. This podcast is available on the podcast or Spotify app. Search Change Lives, Make Money. There's over 300 episodes. For those of you guys that are new tuning into this right now, 300 episodes specifically for online fitness coaches who are trying to grow successful online business. That is it. That's all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, last thing actually is we're giving away $1,000 cash on the podcast. So on March 30th, I'm going to choose one person at random, and I'm going to give you guys $1,000 over PayPal. I'm literally just going to go boop and just boop, send you $1,000 over PayPal. So if you want to be entered to win $1,000 cash, all you got to do is screenshot any podcast episode, share it to your Instagram stories, tag me at BMarkFit. Let me know that you're tuning in, and your boy, you know, I appreciate you. I'm going to choose one of you guys at random, and I'm going to send you $1,000 cash. There's literally no catch. It's like, here's $1,000 over PayPal. Thank you so much for being a podcast listener. Peace, love, protein. Talk to you guys in the next episode. Let's go. What's up, fam? How we doing? Sell before you are ready is the topic of the day. Yes. Ready isn't real. I like it. You're never going to be ready. Ready isn't real. I like that, Connor. That's fire. I also say DMJ51. You're like, I'm going to be a successful online trainer. I love that mindset, bro. I love that. Brady Nicole, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. We got Borbas. I love it. Thank you for tuning in. Black Box Chris, my man. Coach Carnivore Joe, good stuff. Thank you, homie. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Olivia, what's up? Sam, what's up? Jazzy, the Jazzy Collective. So this is saved on my podcast. I'm not saving this live, but I do save the podcasts. So if you want to get the podcast, go to the Change Lives, Make Money Online Trainer podcast on the podcast or Spotify app. And this episode will be up on Monday. So usually when I record the live, it's uploaded the next day, but it's the weekend. It's the weekend, so I'm taking the weekend off. Cool. I never planned on having 5 coaches working with me this year. It just happened. 100%, bro. Like, you just start and you're like, oh shit, like, I guess I'm going to figure this out later. Yeah, my client, Don Lamb, is tuning in right now. He's at $100,000 a month. So best podcast, hands down. That's what I like to hear, dog. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'm trying to charge you guys with every episode. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you for spending your time and energy with me. I hope you guys have the best day of your entire life. I'm out. Have the best day ever, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.